Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to episode 12 in our campaign game with the Hunters, GMT Games game of World War II U-boat combat. It's November 1941, our 12th mission is coming up. Things just keep getting harder and harder. Let's jump right into our patrol. Let's start out with the recap of things to date. We've had 11 missions so far, sinking 19 ships. In our last mission in August of 1941, we sank 3 ships, and that's given us a grand total of 106,800 tons. On our last mission, by crossing the 100,000 ton barrier, 2 things happened. One, we slid into the marginal victory category in the game, so unless our U-boat is captured, we would at least end the game with a marginal victory. Also, our Capitan received his first medal, the Knight's Cross. So that's a good thing as well. Looking forward, at 150,000 tons, we would head from the marginal victory category into the substantial victory category. So we're a little bit under 44,000 tons away from that point in the game. And then at 175,000 tons, or if we sink a capital ship, we would get another attachment to this the Knight's Cross here, medal. So those are kind of things that we're aiming for, but mostly as the game's getting harder, I feel like we're just aiming to survive. So U-Boat 86 has spent the last 2 months all refitted. It's now colder and darker. November 1941, and we'll be leaving our French U-boat pens to head out into the wild Atlantic once again. Let's see where our patrol takes us this time. Shortly we'll roll here to see where our patrol ends up, but I did want to mention that if we do succeed at sinking something in this patrol, it would give us 3 consecutive successful patrols again, which would mean that we'll get either an officer advancement or a crew advancement, providing we don't roll one for something that we've already got. So that's something we can look forward to. Now, one of the things also we want to mention, on our last patrol, we were advanced to Fregattenkapitan, which means that now instead of just on a roll of a 1 or 2, on a roll of a 1, 2, or 3, we get to select our patrol destination, in which case we definitely would be picking a wolfpack in the Atlantic, because I like those die roll modifiers that come with the wolfpack by having our friends and allied U-boats around us. So let's roll now, hoping for a 1, 2, or 3. 5. Okay? So much for that. So let's roll 2 dice here and see where fate sends us on this patrol, our 12th patrol. A 9 it is. A 9. Oh, interesting. A 9 sends us to the British Isles. So we have not been there for a while. We'll come out here, go through the Bay of Biscay, transit, British Isles, British Isles, British Isles, British Isles, back to transit, back around here to transit, and then into the Bay of Biscay. Let's get started here and head out into the friendly waters of the Bay, the unfriendly waters of the Bay of Biscay. So first up, we're hoping to get by without getting hit by an aircraft here. Now it's still 1941, so we don't get any die roll modifiers. Starting in 1942, if we survive this one, it's an additional -1 die roll here, so we're more likely to encounter aircraft. Hoping for something big here. Woo! 6. 4 or less would have been an aircraft, so we are through the Bay of Biscay. And let's go into the next transit zone here, and let's roll for this one. So the transit zone straight up hasn't changed. We need just a bigger than a 3 to survive this. An 8. All right, so we are through the transit zone and into the British Isles. Now the nice thing about the British Isles, of course, if we look at the chart here, is that there's a lot of ships without escorts. There's also a chance we might get nothing. We went a couple of times when we were earlier patrolling here. We didn't have any opportunities to sink things until the very last zone, but I'm hopeful a nice 8 would be good, or a 5 would be good. This, I hate to say it, I was going to say this could be kind of a rocking chair tour, but let's see what we get here. We get a 10. Oh, so much for saying there's nothing here. With a 10, we go right into convoy mode. So let's get this set up. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to roll to see if it's day or night. And I think because this is the first zone, if it is daytime, we're going to wait until night and see what we get. 4. Oh, perfect. A 4 is night. Excellent. 1 to 3 is day, and a 4 is night. So we are at night. So let's roll these ships up, and we'll jump right into it. All right, so we have rolled up our ships here, and although we did get 3 small freighters, but for small freighters, they're actually kind of big. So let's just kind of walk through them here. On the very left edge of the convoy point that we're engaging, we've run into the Day Dawn, which is at 4,800 tons. That's pretty good size for a small freighter. Next to it is the Arlington Court, which is 5,000 tons. Again, a rather large size for a small freighter. Then we did get 1 tanker, the 8,100 ton Consim, I believe it's called. And then to the right-hand side of that, we get the 4,200 ton Grow, a small freighter. So these are some pretty good targets here. And I think what we have to roll up next, however, is perhaps the most important roll. We did not get lucky last time we did this, which is whether the Wolfpack, because we're in a Wolfpack, whether the escorts are focused on us or focused on other U-boats in the Wolfpack. So on a roll of a 1 to 5, they're focused elsewhere, and that's what we want. Yes! Excellent. Good. So the escorts are busy and our Wolfpack, which means that we get a -1 die roll modifier on this, which I think our strategy again is going to be to kind of spray out some of these torpedoes with the hopes that at the very least, if we're lucky, we'll sink something, and if we have good luck, we'll be able to, and even if we have bad luck, hopefully we'll be able to at least damage something that we can then subsequently follow. So, with that being in mind, we're going to send 2 of our steam torpedoes at the... Let me just check the name here on this one. It's the Conus is what it's called, 8,000 tons. So we're going to fire 2 steam torpedoes at that, 1 at the Arlington Court and 1 at the Day Dawn. Now, we're going to come in at medium range, submerged, to increase our chances of not being detected. So our die roll at medium range is a 7 or less, and none of the modifiers here apply. Interesting, I was looking, we got the Knight's Cross, and I thought that might give us some advantages in combat. We don't get any advantages until at least we get the Oak Leaves. If we get the Oak Leaves, we get -1 on this die roll here. So getting that second level would be really helpful, but no bonuses really for this first level. So let's start firing our torpedoes. First one's going after the Day Dawn on the left-hand side. We need a 7 or less to hit. Fire 1. 5. Excellent. So we've got 1 hit there. Oh, I got to roll for a dud, too. We got that. A 5. So no dud. Very good. So that hits and explodes. We'll do the damage shortly. Next up, let's fire at the Arlington Court. Fire 2. Oh, excellent. A 4 and a 3. That hits as well. Oh, our crews are doing well down in the room down there. Let's fire our next 2 shots at the Conus. It'd be nice to get this one here. Fire 3. We get a 7 and a 5. Our 3rd consecutive hit. We are dialing it up today. Again, a 1 is a dud, so far so good. And fire 4. Oh, way wide. That one missed. We still could get lucky and sink something there. So we've got 3 hits to assess now. Let us do the damage on this one. 2 hits would sink it. 2 damage points would sink it. We are rolling for attack damage. This is where I made a mistake in the last patrol, by the way. I inverted the die roll for whatever reason in my head. When we should have sunk those 2 ships, we didn't. I counted as we didn't. So let's see what happens here, though. On a 1, 2, or 3, we would get 2 or more damage, which would sink it. 4, 5, or 6, we would not. Come on, let's get a nice low roll. 4. So a 4 is only 1 damage. And the Day Dawn survives to live another day, or at least part of one. Our second torpedo, a 1. Excellent. 4 damage, and it shatters the Arlington Court, sending that one to the bottom of the sea with 4 hits on its 2-hit substructure. It is gone. Now let's see if we can get equally lucky on our tanker. With a roll of a 1 or a 2, we would sink the Conus, getting 3 damage or more. Let's get a nice lucky roll. Yes! Nice! So 3 hits with a 2 gives us the Conus. 1, 2, 3. We've sunk both the Conus and the Arlington Court. We've left the Day Dawn damaged, and the Grow small freighter will be able to escape unscathed. Let us now see if we can escape detection. Hopefully we can keep up our luck here as well. Let me just check the die roll modifiers, then we'll make this roll. Alrighty, this is a pretty straightforward roll here. It normally is an 8 or less, but because it's 1941, we add 1 to the die roll. However, because the Wolfpack, the escorts are busy attending to other members of our Wolfpack, we get a -1. So it's +1, -1 means that we need an 8 or less to escape. Hopefully we can make it out of here. Yes! 4! Most excellent. This is a good start for us here. So let us now, we're going to follow the small freighter because I'd like to see if we could finish that one off too. So let's set that up and then we will continue on. Alrighty, so our first roll here is to see, we're going to come in at night, we can pick, we automatically follow this. This one is gone, our sunk ships are gone, and our small freighter is gone. All that's left now that we're following here is the damaged Day Dawn. On a roll of a 1 to 4, it's still under escort. On a 5 or a 6, it's no longer escorted. We've been pretty lucky here so far. Let's hope we can maybe keep this luck up. Nice. This has been a lucky patrol, more so than, I mean, I feel like U-86 is a pretty lucky U-boat, but more so than normal, this has been a pretty lucky patrol. So with the escort out of the way, we can come in at close range on the surface here, and basically it should just be a matter of finishing this off. We're going to start off with our deck guns, and then if this doesn't work, we'll go to our aft torpedo, and then we can come back in with our 4 torpedoes to try to finish it off if things get that unlikely. But at close range or less, coming in, we need an 8 or less, and we get 2 shots at this to try to hit it. And if we hit it once, it is done. So let's get an 8 or less. Let's fire away. Fire 1. 6. That will do it. Might as well use our second round. And a 2. Snake Eyes. So 2 hits. And then if we roll for damage, we're guaranteed of at least doing 2, and we only need 1. And we get a 3 and a 3, which is 2 damage. And there goes the Day Dawn to the bottom of the ocean. Unescorted, an easy kill for us. Wow, we've racked up some tonnage here. 8,100 tons, 5,000 tons, 4,800 tons. My goodness, that's giving us what? 9,800, 17,100 tons already. And that concludes the first patrol zone. We have 2 more patrol zones to explore. Let's get on with it. Alrighty, so we move through, we move out of our first zone in the British Isles into our second zone. And let's see what kind of situation we roll up here. Get a 4 in the British Isles, which is a nothing. Okay, so we'll move on to the next zone. Rolling again. It'd be nice to get a single ship here without an escort. That'd be kind of a nice little fat target there. Or capital ship, we could do with that. A 4 again, which again is nothing. Could this be a very simple patrol? I'm glad we got had an opportunity in the first zone there. Let's get a 5 would be good, or an 8, please. 6. Aha! Okay. A 6 is a ship plus escort, so let's see what that brings us. I'm thinking we're going to go in anyway because we're undamaged. We have torpedoes left, so it's worth the risk to try to sink it. I mean, if it's a really low target, maybe we'll avoid it, but let's see what we get here. All right, since this is only 1 ship here, let's roll it up and watch as we roll here too. We get a 3, which is a small freighter. So on a small freighter, we now have to roll our 100-sided die here to see what kind of target we get. We get a, let's see that inside one, what is that? 59. 59 on the small freighter target roster is the Anavore at 3,300 tons. So not a very enticing target. You can put it right there. The bigger question right now is whether it's day or night. If it is daytime, we don't really need this target, so I think we're going to try to wait to night to increase our odds against it. But let's see what we get here. Hoping for a 4, 5, or a 6. Nice. Gosh, we've had some lucky rolls so far this patrol. Really hard to complain. So it is nighttime, which means that we will go in because they won't be able to see our steam torpedoes. So with it being nighttime, we're going to come in at medium range. The escort is here. No wolfpack involved with this one because it's just a single ship. The small freighter Anavore is here, and let me make sure I jot that down so I don't forget it. All right, with our target being this Anavore and this being our last zone to have potential targets in, we're going to let them have it. All 4 steam torpedoes going at them. I was actually tempted to try this at long range because then we would need a 6 or less one and 4 shots. I think our chances are still pretty good that we'd be able to sink this ship, but I think we're going to just kind of take our chances, come into medium range, and make sure we can get it. So we're firing 4 torpedoes. We need 7s or less to hit at medium range. No die roll modifiers apply because it is nighttime. A 6 and an 8, so our first one swings wide. That's a miss. Fire 2. 10 and a 3. That one misses as well. Not a good sign here. Fire 3. There we go. Oh, it's a dud. 3 shots and no hits. An 8 and a 3. Gosh, we were terrible. We fell apart. Like, we were getting really... Every single torpedo missed. Are you serious? On a 7 or less? Good Lord, that was epic fail. So with that in mind, we now shift to Escort Detection. And we normally need an 8 or less because it's 1941. We need a 7 or less. And there are no die roll modifiers outside of that 1941 one because the wolfpack's not here. So hopefully we can at least get out of here. A 7. Okay, good. So we have escape detection. Now our next choice is whether we actually want to try to follow this and re-engage. So let's ponder that for a moment. Alrighty, at the very least we're going to try to follow this. And on a roll of a 1 to 4, we can successfully follow an escorted ship that's undamaged. And a 5 or 6, we lose it. Gah! So, a 5, we lost contact with this, and that brings this encounter to the end. Wow, the Anavore with some luck of the gods there, escaping 4 torpedo shots. I mean, we sank 2 ships and damaged 1 with our last round in the previous encounter. In this one, we couldn't hit 1 ship with 4 torpedoes. Not sure what happened to our crew. They must have been celebrating the previous engagement a little bit too much. Okay, so let's head for home here. Alrighty, so we head out of our last British Isle zone. That was actually our lucky zone previously until this round. Now we're going to go into the transit area, hoping for some big die rolls here. Good. 6 and a 2 is an 8, so we slip through without an aircraft encounter. And then lastly, the more dangerous Bay of Biscay. This is the last time that it will be a 2, 3, or 4. From this time on, it's going to be a 2, 3, 4, or 5. If we make it to 1943, it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. God, that's going to get ugly. Let's hope we get through it this time. Nope. 6. Excellent. All right, so that was rather smooth sailing for U-86. Let's go in and refit and kind of summarize our tour here. Alrighty, so we can summarize as we're refitting with torpedoes. A pretty easy refit here as there were no attacks on the U-boat this time. So we'll load her up with steam torpedoes and put some ammo back in the deck gun, and we are pretty much ready to go. We just have to kind of do our regular routine refitting. So we'll be in the U-boat pens for December of 1941, back on our next patrol in January 1942, where it gets very real, and our die roll modifiers change again, representing the increased effectiveness of escorts at hunting U-boats. But we have a few things left to take care of. First, let's summarize this mission. So we had 19 ships sunk coming into this on 11 patrols. This gives us our 12th patrol. We had 3 more ships to our tally, giving us 22 ships sunk in a dozen patrols. And this time we sank the Daydon at 4,800 tons, the Arlington Court at 5,000 tons, and then the freighter Conus at 8,100 tons, giving us a fairly respectable 17,900 tons on this patrol, which I think, looking over the numbers quickly here, I think this makes it our 3rd most successful patrol. Our greatest so far has been 20,700 tons in December of 1940. Our 2nd best patrol was our last patrol, 20,600 tons, and this would be our 3rd most successful patrol. That gives us altogether, over our 12 patrols, 124,700 tons. So we're a little bit more than 25,000 tons away from shifting from marginal victory into that substantial victory category, but otherwise our tonnage really doesn't bring us anything notable in terms of achievements in this patrol. So working towards that 150,000 level right there. Now, we do have a couple of things to do. First, because this is our 3rd consecutive mission with a successful mission, we have our 12th mission, we get to roll for a crew advancement. Now, we have on a roll of a 1, it is our what is that? Oh, let's see. That would be our engineer that would go up. On a 2, it's our doctor, which would mean it has nothing because Dr. David is already an expert at it. Then on a 1, it would be nothing because our 1st watch officer, Ray, is already an expert. And then Klingman, our 2nd watch officer, would get an advancement. On a 5 or a 6, our crew will go from trained up a level as well. So let's see what we get here. Hoping for anything except a 1... or a, nope, hoping for anything except a 2 or a 3. So 4, 5, or 6 would be nice. A 1. Oh, very nice. Our engineer Mahler, goes to the expert level. So let me make sure I can get this one out here and advance him. That's actually very helpful because that means that when we try to make repairs, he's going to be much more effective. I mean, I think he was due to hit that one anyway, because if you recall in our last patrol, Engineer Mahler was an absolute hero because he fixed pretty much everything that broke. And actually incredibly helpful because I think he fixed our dive planes and all sorts of stuff along the way. So excellent. Our crew's looking pretty good here now. We have 3 out of 4 spots expert. Our officers, our crew still, however, is basically at the trained level. They're just a little slow there. Now, alrighty, we have one more thing to do, which is to see if Officer Ray gets his own U-boat. He is an expert first watch officer at the end of every patrol. We have to roll to see if he leaves us. On a roll of 1 to 5, he stays with us. On a roll of a 6, he is given his own U-boat. Whew. So close to getting his own U-boat. Just one little pip away. But Officer Ray, First Watch Officer Ray, will stay with us for another patrol. We're glad to have you still here. And I believe that brings us to the end. Gosh, I felt like a quick patrol, but I felt like it turned out pretty well to get those 3 targets like that in a convoy. We had some pretty lucky die rolling. Let's just call it what it is. Some very effective torpedo firing on our first attack. We seem to compensate for that by missing bloody everything on our second attack. But yeah, stuff happens. Can't complain though on a patrol that we didn't get attacked on. We didn't get depth charged or attacked by aircraft, and we sank 3 ships. So that one feels like I'd have to say overall we were pretty lucky again there with U-86. 12 patrols down the drain. We're going to January of 1942 in our next patrol. And also, I will say that it is patrol number 13. So, going to the hard year and going to the lucky patrol number 13. Who knows what will happen? We'll see you in our next episode. If you have enjoyed this, likes are always appreciated as it helps get the video in front of other viewers. And then if you're new, about half the content on the channel is historical gaming and war games. And although this campaign's taken us much longer than I initially anticipated, we're going to carry this out to the end, whatever that may be. So if you're welcome to subscribe and follow along, it's always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know what you think of this patrol. And we'll see you in mission or patrol 13 shortly.